What is going on, guys? This is Team Homebrews here, back with another budget deck list. It's been a while since we made our last video. A lot of us have been going through some, I wouldn't say things. It's nothing negative. It's just that we were all starting new jobs, and one of the team members just got married, so we didn't have the time to really make any videos at the time. But now that all of that stuff is out of the way and we started our new jobs and we have things going, we're able to make these deck lists again. This is a deck that I recently made. Not recently, I would say when Opus 2 first came out, I made this deck, and I wanted to make a video, but I couldn't due to other things that was going on in my life. So this deck list is called Larsa's Tutelage. It's a deck revolving around Larsa and his judges. I was kind of upset when all the judges came out, but they were all separate colors. I really hated that, so I had to figure out a way how I can use some of my favorite judges in one deck with using 3 colors. So I limited it there. 2 of them that I really liked were 2 other colors that I just didn't feel was great for the deck. One of them was red. So this deck is tricolor. It is blue, well, water, lightning, and ice. So let's get into the deck. Let's see here. Let's move this deck off to the side here. First cards that I use is 3 sets of Larsa. I run 3 Larsas. Larsa is a pretty good card, especially for this deck. This deck is very mid-rangey, and it's it's kind of slow to build up depending on your hand. But Larsa, basically, the forwards that you control don't receive any damage less than their power. So a lot of the cards in this deck is a little low on power. There are a lot of 2-drops in there, but they deal damage. But his ability is you dull 1 blue, well, 1 water backup, and you tap Larsa and you choose 1 blocking forward. That's one of your forwards, and it gains 2k. So he's pretty good as a kind of like there as a backup, like pump card. So I like Larsa. Larsa is good, but not as good as one of the cards that I really like in this deck, and one of them is Drace. I run a playset of Drace in this deck, and Drace, basically, he costs 1 if you have Larsa on the field, but if you also have Larsa on the field, he gets 2k plus he gets first strike, so that comes in handy. Larsa is pretty much the key card in this deck that you basically want to like protect. It's almost like my unit deck that I basically built, but it's very, how do I explain it? I can't even explain it. It's weird. Like, it's very mid-rangey, but it has a way of dropping random cards in your face, and your opponent is kind of like, what the hell just happened? Next, I run 3 Zargabath, sorry. I run 3 of him because Zargabath is really good. Basically, when Zargabath enters the field, you can choose any forward except the ice element that's in your hand that costs 3 or less from your hand to the field automatically. I love Zargabath. He's super good. So Zargabath, basically, if you have him in your hand, you drop Zargabath, you basically call out your Larsa if you have it. Or if Larsa's already on the field, you drop Zargabath, call out your Drace. I love this card. I really love it. I wish he had a little more power, but there's another thing in the deck that allows, him to actually kind of survive some hits and get some chump blocks in there, so he's not bad. Next card is I run 2 Geist. Geist I kind of hated at first. I was using Bergen at first, but I noticed that Bergen was giving me some problems in the deck, so I took Bergen out and got rid of it for Geist. And I didn't like Geist at first, but then Geist he actually helps in a pinch. He's an 8k, he's a tank basically, but he works like a tank version of Zargabath. Zargabath, like, Geist can basically get sent to the field, and you can select any element except water from your hand that costs 3 or less, and you drop it from your hand. So you can do the same thing with Drace or Larsa as well. The only thing with him is if you do that, you draw 2 cards, but the downside is that you have to discard 2 cards. That kind of sucks, but he gives you that field advantage as well, just like Zargabath does. But one of the good things about him is that Geist doesn't receive any damage from abilities other than special abilities. So if somebody wants to damage you with their abilities from like let's say like a black mage or something like that, it just doesn't work. That's the good part about him. So he's actually good, but that downside is that discard, and I kind of hate that. Next card I run, which I really like, is 3 Cognazo. Cognazo he's okay. He keeps the deck very budget, and his deck is very budget. But I like Cognazo due to the fact that when he blocks, you have to dull him, which is okay. But if he's dulled, he can't receive any other damage that's dealt to him. So that's cool. So usually how I use him is, a lot of the times, if I block with him, I pump with him first, so that I'm able to survive the attack, then dull, just in case if somebody tries to kill him off, they can't. So he's actually pretty cool. You have to get rid of him all at once, and it's basically another card that makes your opponent have to exhaust resources. And that's one of the things that I like in this game, is I like having my opponent exhaust resources just to kill something, making it hard. The next card is, and you guys know how much I love this card because I always talk about it, I run 3 Sid Reigns. Sid Reigns is, I just like this guy, and he keeps the deck budget. With all these expensive decks going around, he just keeps the deck budget, and I really like him. Basically, you all know what he does. When he enters the field, you choose 1 dulled forward your opponent controls, you deal it 4,000 damage, which is awesome. But if that card that is sent to the break zone due to Sid Reigns' ability, they have to discard a card. Not really worried about the discarding of the card. It's mostly because of the 4,000 damage, and because I'm running lightning colors, not the character, he tends to work overtime due to some of the other cards that I have in this deck. Next card I run is 2 Ragdea. Another budget card that allows you to deal damage. That's basically why he's there. But it's for an active forward. Deal 3,000 damage. When it's put into the field from the break zone, you choose an opponent's card and then you get to dull it. So if you guys are recognizing how this deck works, is basically you're stalling for time so that you can get in these little pock shots. Because a lot of these cards are very weak. They're 5,000, they're 6,000, none of them are 7s, and then all you have is this guy that's like 8. So a lot of your cards are very weak. So what you have to do is you basically use this deck to basically bring your opponent down to a level playing field, and where it's easier for you to get in those pock shots, and it makes it harder for your opponent to want to make decisions. Next, I run a playset of the Opus 2 Viking. I like this card. He's not like the other Viking where as soon as he comes down to the field, you draw a card. Basically, he's there to get extra blocks, just in case you need it. But your opponent is probably not going to attack you, because if they attack you and they kill this, you get to draw. That's awesome. So you're plussing for, sacrificing a card, which is awesome. I like this card because he's just there for chump blocks. Move that off to the side. Next card is I run the one of the Opus 1 Viking, which when he enters the field, you get to draw a card. It's just in case I don't have that card, but at least I still get the draw. Next is the only money card in the deck. It's a one of, and it's 1 copy of Alcid. I think Alcid is about $8 now, or $6, according, I think. Alcid he's okay in this deck, but he's amazing everywhere else. Mono Lightning, he's amazing. I love this guy. But I use him in this deck just in case I don't have enough mana to bring out Drace. well, not mana. I don't have enough backups to bring out Drace, or I don't want to discard something from my hand. I don't want to do that. So usually, if I have Drace in my hand, what I'll usually do is drop my Alcid so that Drace comes out for free. Usually Larsa's there where he'll cost 1, but I don't have a backup open, so he's just there just as a kind of like a backup Zargabath, but not as good. But he deals damage, so that's awesome, because when you play a lightning forward, when he comes down from the field, triggers his effect, you get to summon a lightning forward that is 3 or less from your hand to the field, and if you do, he deals 6,000 damage to something. So you got Ragdea that deals 6,000 damage to something. You got Sid Reigns that deals 4,000 damage to something. They're all doing something. Then you have Larsa there that's gonna do pumping. So you see where it's going. Next card is, I think this is kind of like a staple too. I run 3 copies of Gramus. Gramus is just basically there to search out my Zargabaths, or he's there to search out my Larsas if I need it. A lot of times I want a Zargabath and it's not there, so he's there to, fix my hand. Next, which is a card I really like, and it helps in this deck, is I run 3 copy of the backup Wakas. Backup Waka is basically there to give all my water forwards plus 1k. This deck is water heavy, so the Larsa turns into a 6k, my Geist turns into a 9k, and Cognazo turns into a 6k. He's just there to give that extra leverage. So, if you bring an opponent down to a level playing field by using, your Ragdeas or your Sid Reigns, then they have more trouble basically trying to block you and wanting to sacrifice cards. Next is 2 copies of Backup Summoner, the Ice Summoner. This card is basically there to cancel out effects for any summons that they want to use to get rid of your Geist, or they want to get rid of your Larsa. That's why Summoner is there. You basically pay 1 Ice backup, you break Summoner, and you get to cancel a summon's effect. That's why he's there. He's not bad. He's just there to keep your opponent at bay from making decisions on killing things. Next is a card that I really like. I just wish I used it more often, but it's just there for me to generate more blue or water. Is Astrologian. I run 3 copies of Astrologian. Basically, you pay 2, you get to activate 1 forward. So if I want to chump block with a Zargabath so I can summon another one next turn, that's what I'm going to do. If I want to chump block with Cognazo, that's what I'm going to do. She is not bad. Next, and this is why I run those cards that deal a little bit of damage, is I run 3 copies of the Opus 1 Black Mage. Opus 1 Black Mage is good. It's really good. Every time you deal damage to something, you crack your Black Mage and you break the forward that you couldn't kill. Black Mage is awesome. And what makes it very, very good, which I think makes it kind of better than the Opus 2 Black Mage, is that when you crack it, it makes room in your backup, because you can only have 5. So that's the plus. Next is I run 1 copy of Yagrosh. Yagrosh is basically there to protect Waka. Just in case people, they get the need to kill my Waka, I have Yagrosh sometimes there to help with that. Because I don't want my Waka to die, because he gives, all my water forwards plus 1,000, so that's a plus. I was thinking of taking out Yagrosh and running Duke Larg, but I probably wouldn't have protection from anything, and I'm not really worried about my ice forwards. I might run, I think there is a lightning backup that gives you 1,000, but I don't remember the name. So, or if it's even if it exists, so I don't remember. The next card I run is 1 copy of Jill Nabat, the backup one. This is just in case anybody is running any type of backup that damages my forwards, like Dancer or anything like that. Because I like Dancer, and Dancer is annoying, and I hate her. So that's why I run Joe Nabat as a just in case purposes. Because remember, this deck is consisted of all weak monsters, but they all are very good, and it's all about flooding your field with monsters too fast in one turn, just so you throw your opponent off guard. So I run one Joe Nabat. Next is the summons. I don't run too many summons. First summon I run is 2 Moomba. Moomba is okay. It's not fantastic, but it keeps the deck very budget. It chooses 1 forward, and you deal it damage equal to the power minus 1,000. So if something is 5k, you deal it 5k, but minus 1, so it's a 4. You deal damage to it. It's just something for Black Mage to get rid of, just in case. It's all right though. I use it for just in case purposes, but it's a lot of times it doesn't come in handy, to be honest. But sometimes it does. Next is Adramelech. Adramelech is great. You pay 3, he's an EX burst, and you choose 1 active forward, and you deal it 7 damage. He's great. He's great. He's better when he's flipped for damage as an EX burst, and then, you know, if your opponent has 2 monsters that he's getting ready to, or 2 forwards he's getting ready to attack you with, you basically flip this, and then you target that active forward he's about to hit you with. It's not bad. He's pretty good. Keeps the deck in the budget range, so that's a plus. And the last forward I play is 2 Moogles. You guys know what Moogle does. You basically draw 2 cards, you discard 1 card. Moogle is there just in case you still need to get that Zargabrath or that Larsa in your hand. That's why he's there. He's just there for hand fixing. That's about it. So that is my Larsa's Tutelage deck. It's like I said, it's very mid-rangey, kind of slow. But once it gets going, especially when you get that Zargabath, it's freaking awesome, man. I like this card. I wish I can get 3 foil Drace, because I just like the color and I like the cards, and I need 1 more foil Zargabath to make this complete, because I really like Zargabath and I really like Drace. Geist looks okay. I mean, he looks alright. His card is okay. But Zargabath, I think, looks the coolest. But yeah, so I built this deck way when Opus 2 came out. And I was meaning to make a video on this and I didn't, but I made one now. So soon we will be showing off some Opus 3 stuff before Opus 4 comes out, because Opus 4 comes out I think in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. So as soon as we upload the next, I think, 2 or 3 deck builds that we did as a team, then we're going to start doing some budget deck lists on Opus 4. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.